Kohberger allegedly stalked one of the victims. That's false. You knew that was false.
We do not have evidence that the defendant had direct contact with 1122 or with residents of 1122, but we can put his phone in that area. There are many residences in that area. It's a dense population of mostly college-related occupants.
Everything is alleged. Hey guys, how's everyone doing tonight? I am going to be leaving this faceless because I got out of the tub and then got this response, and I finished dinner and I'm just tired, and I just didn't want to be on the camera. Plus, this is about the document, so I want to be able to show you guys in full screen exactly what it is we got here. I have a lot of stuff that I pulled up to reference tonight, and I will say, like I said in my little pinned comment up here, the information that they just sent me when I asked for the resubmission information regarding 11-18-22, the marked off portion on the forensic evidence submission receipts from ISP, she sent me something that should have been sent to me when we originally requested the chain of custody information, because this would be the print out equivalent to what is on the actual knife sheath bag on that ISP sticker. So when it comes to when the knife sheath got there, and you guys remember how we were like, well, at least I was going kind of off on the fact that Chris Whitcomb put Shannon's name in the book incorrectly. Like, I understand that like a signature is a signature, and sometimes signatures and cursive signatures and whatever are a little bit difficult to write. But when we have the documents, he could have gone in and just, validated the person's name the same way that, we always have. So that's the person's name that we see here for when the knife sheath first got over to the lab. And notice what it says, that it's on 11-16-22. So then once this got there, it got put away, and they didn't actually start working on it until the next morning. And that's where we have report number 1. Back up here. Oh, thank you, Gail. 16 months as a member. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for being in here. I know it's kind of late. Oh, thank you for the 10, JJPP. That'll go towards the FOIA fund. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, so then this is where we have report number 1, and this is where they started actually doing stuff on the sheath itself. Everything is listed out. And this is where we also came across the photos, but you see where it has 11-17 as the date. This is when they actually started doing stuff. And Rylene's emails, which I didn't pull these up because I didn't even remember they existed till I started talking out loud. We do have Rylene's emails that are in the Google Drive. They should be actually over here, because this is where all of the emails and stuff are separated out. Like I need to go in and I guess fix the titles maybe to where they're like easier to go through. But there's like separate emails out over here where she literally was like giving everyone, and we went over them so you guys will probably remember, but she was giving everyone like a heads up, and she was like, okay, well, District 2 just transferred it to District 3. I think that's how it went. And he's on his way. And then when they got there, she was like, the sheath is here, and I don't expect basically anybody to start doing anything until tomorrow morning, because it was already like late in the afternoon. So that's why you see the date of analysis for when they started doing the swabs being on 11-17-22. Now, this was the documents, again, that came out where we didn't realize that we had been like saying, hearing kind of like crazy stuff about a snap the entire time. And we're still trying to figure that part out, which is another reason why we're so in depth with these FOIAs. And now, because of some of the more recent stuff that we've received, there's going to be additional FOIAs that I'm going to be asking for, because they've given us more information without being able to back up that information. And the email that I got from ISP today was just really annoying, because I just feel like I'm talking to a wall when I'm talking to these people. It's just, it's a lot. It's really stressful, especially when they're supposed to be smart. And I'm just like, why are you acting like you don't understand what I'm asking you? I don't speak in a foreign language. I'm very, very detailed, if sometimes even too much. Like I literally, y'all don't even understand. I wish I could interview my manager one day, my supervisor, so she could tell you guys exactly what I'm about to tell you, because most people probably won't even believe this. I used to get in trouble for being too detailed in my medical notes. Too detailed in my medical notes. Medical notes. Too detailed. I was being asked to backtrack and summarize instead of being detailed. But then appeals would have to happen. And they need all of those details. So then eventually I was like, if you would just let me do my job the way that I was doing it in the first place with all these additional details, y'all swear that y'all can't stand, we wouldn't be going through all of this and have all these denials. Like, let me do my thing. And suddenly, the percentage of denials went, way down because, leave me alone, let me do what I need to do. I think what it really was is they were too lazy to read over everything when we had to do our Q&As. So they wanted me to shorten my notes for your medical insurance paperwork, okay? It wouldn't be surprised if I actually worked some of y'all's accounts. It really wouldn't. I've worked hospitals all over this country. I've actually worked some famous name accounts. I just can't say them because of HIPAA. So I've done this for a long time. And I used to get in trouble for being so detailed and being asked to scale down my details. So I know when I put these damn FOIAs in that they should understand what I'm asking for. So when they come back at me dumb, it really just gets on my damn nerves. I digress. But y'all can tell that I'm stressed. Y'all can tell that I'm stressed. And that email is part of this little thing that we're going to be going over here too in just a second. Oh, hey, Miller Time. Thank you again for the $5. Hey, Syray, we must all remember what he said when he was on the stand. He reserves his right once he sees all the cell phone data. That's true. You said it twice. Thank you for the $10. That's true. He did say that. And I wish we could see the cell phone data. That's the thing. Thank you for the $9.99, Kim Stewart. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I want to see all the cell phone data. Like, we've gotten a little bit of it. But damn, like, we really need... That's what I said. Like, who the frick? And like, let me tell you, it wasn't just my like supervisor. One time the big supervisor even brought me in and he was like, I get it. I completely get it. And I'm telling you right now, it's because they didn't want to read through all that. It was their pure laziness. Because once they left me alone, stuff was fine. Stuff was fine. So, okay, well, I guess let me stop for a second. Did something happen today with Syray and suddenly everyone's upset about it? Because when I tell you I haven't paid attention to shit all day on this computer until I got that email, that's not a joke. I wasn't planning on going live tonight. I wasn't planning on doing shit tonight. When I tell you I'm sitting here in my chair sipping on a what you call it? What is this? A 0 sugar Sprite in a straw with my hair up in a wet bun in my moo-moo. That's not a joke. Oh, I wasn't planning on doing nothing. Lena's pissed because Cy promised her his first interview. Oh, well. So they're going to be the first interview? I mean, she's interviewed with him before, so it's actually kind of interesting. Yeah, I know some people think that he reversed his stance. I don't know if he's come out and made a direct statement about his stance yet. I know that there's questionable statements that we've been able to see in his book review. Let me go ahead and pull up that link and I'll drop it in the chat for those of you who didn't see it. Because we did go over all 40 of his pages. I saw 5 right here. Thank you so much for the gifted membership, Sharon. Congratulations to those who got those. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Did he actually say something about Turvey? Has he put out a statement, or is this coming from maybe a conversation him and Lana had and she's upset talking about it, which I've done the same thing. I don't blame her for that. But is that where that's coming from? I guess maybe I'd need to go watch it and see what she has to say, which is not something I normally would do, but I think I will. Okay. Yeah, I'll watch it when I lay down and I'll put it on my TV. Lacking receipts. I mean, that's what I've been pissed off about since the beginning when it came to what these idiots that wrote Broken Plea was saying. And like a lot of people turned their back on me and unsubscribed and called me all kinds of names and freaked out. And like, there's a million receipts that are missing for things that they came out talking about. And like, there's maybe one thing right. Yeah. I know there's a portion in there where it sounds like it like, yeah, I mean, I know there was some stuff in his book, and that's not like the reason why I haven't gotten it yet. I really am just trying to like get caught up with everything. Like we really are going to be getting it and going through it. It doesn't matter if it pisses me off or not. I just need to see what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Plus that's a whole other thing. Look, a lot of people cussed me out, called me all kinds of stuff. I'm always angry all the time. I don't like anybody. I always want to argue with people. I'm not trying to argue with no freaking body. These aren't my facts. This isn't my story. This is not my facts. This is information that belongs to these victims, information that belongs to this case. And we're just trying to wade through it and figure it out. And if I have somebody that's coming out here telling false information, whether it's Christina Randall or Brent Turvey, I don't give a frick who they are or what their association is or anything else. If they're coming out here and saying something wrong, honestly, my audience's energy should be the same regardless, because again, it's not my information. I come out here, I show what's being said that's incorrect. I show the receipts that show what's wrong. It doesn't matter if it's an expert or some stupid gossip girl or some moron like JLR that everybody hates. I shouldn't be getting all the crazy hate that I got just because this guy wrote a book about the case and has questions. He's a crack monkey head. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. He's out of his mind. He's out of his mind. He wrote a bunch of bullshit. Half of it's written with AI. Brent Turvey, they're coming out and saying the girls have signature marks on their shoulders that don't freaking exist. There's a lot of stuff they said that's going to make people not give two shits about what they are claiming that we do have receipts for. And it might be 15% of the shit that they've been talking about, but that 15% is important. Important. And that's been my whole problem this whole time. And y'all all, even those people, saw how excited I was for this book. We went through it, the preview for it. We were like, holy shit, we're going to get some real information. This guy has inside sources, just to be hella let down. Hella let down. And that's why I went so hard on it. Because I don't give two shits about James Patterson. He's not, he went around and did interviews. He's not even trying to base nothing off of anything important. This guy is supposed to have gone off of evidence. Evidence. And he can't even get the car right. He got the wrong year of the car in the book. Like something so simple. And then to get I'm not even going to keep going on the rant about the damn blood on the table, because I already know that shit pissed me off. It's just annoying. Oh, thank you for the $4.99, Penguin. No, like I know that he's going on Custody Queens. They seem to like always end up talking to these book authors, which look, I get that they have like questions and stuff about the case. And I get that, apparently they're attorneys, but when it comes to criminal law and custody law, it's completely different. And I really wish that they worded questions better, knew certain things about the case, or at least had somebody that was maybe in the background that had like a big, huge, just file of everything that they could go in and reference. Just like when Home Dude said that Xana's blood was in the kitchen. I know Ron like instantly was like, oh, I wasn't aware, blah, 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 whatever. But, saying that you're not aware and then being like, okay, so like, where was that? Like, is there a report for that? And like coming out and finding that information that was kind of left to us to come out and sort of like fact checked what these interviewers are doing. And I just wish, and I look, I'm not doing it. Me. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to talk to people because I know that I'm just going to get angry. And while you guys can see that I'm good when I go on lives with people and I can have conversations and it's fine, when someone's just going to say some off the wall dumb shit to me, y'all, it's just not going to freaking happen. I'm not going to get my blood pressure up for stupid people. I'm just not doing it. I'd rather sit here and be like, that guy's full of shit. This is why. Here's the proof. Okay, next. Because it's not my story. Like I said, it's not my facts. I'm just trying to make sure that, I'm understanding it for it being as truthful as it needs to be, which is 1,000,000,000%. And just have you guys come along on the journey with me, because to me, this is important. And it's not just this case. Look how convoluted every aspect of this case is. Again, it's every agency that touched this case. Look at the timeline. Look what happened yesterday with that damn timeline. Double timestamps, stuff all over the place. 2,400 hours going into 1 o'clock. They can't even tell time. Like, this is FBI, Homeland Security, Idaho State Police, the prosecutor's office, everyone that works in the prosecutor's office, all of their freaking superiors, all of Moscow, and none of them saw that shit was wrong. There's no way that they would have just handed that over to the jury and somebody wouldn't have been like, what the frick is 2404? This time does not exist. What is this? It's screwed up. I don't even know how much time. I'm just tired of it. It's just so stupid. Okay, let's get back to this. Okay, what did I say I was going to show you guys? Okay, let me give y'all the link for the Sire book real quick. For when we went over the information. What date was that? That was on, don't play, don't be loud, oh my God. A month ago, May 7th. So about a month and a week ago. And there's the link. Here's the link right here. So that you guys can go and watch that one in case you missed it. It seems like some of you guys might have missed it. But yeah, there was like 40 pages. I explained how I had to put everything together, because that one took me a little bit longer to be able to come out and do too, because I had to get it where I could share what I was talking about, because I have to show you guys. I'm not just going to talk out my butt. I'm just going to talk out my butt. Okay. Let's get back to this. All right. So again, we have the 11/16 evidence submission of the Sheath actually getting there. Okay. The lab report for when they started doing all the swabs was done on 11/17/22. And again, nothing in here says anything about the snap or metal or anything like that. One was swab of front strap. 2 was light brown transfer from edges of handle. Number 3 was edges of blade portion. And then number 4 was on the back. And that's when we actually did start getting photos of the knife sheath. And you see how they have the purple outline here. It's all color coded. Okay. So then after this was done and they swabbed these parts, they sent it off for latent. And that would be over here on report number 2. Go up to the top right here. Report number 2, where it went to Tina Walthall so that it could be looked at for prints. There wasn't any. No prints at all were observed on this thing. But that's also where we got the brown paper bag. But I also noticed on here, I don't believe that she even says where she swabbed or where she looked for prints on it, because it says description of surface or item leather. Okay. And in this email right here that I showed you guys the other day, where she says first that it was excluding the metal button that was swabbed. And then her next response was, oh, she actually did swab the button, but it was the top smooth side. No, she said she also swabbed the entire socket portion of the snap and the underside of the cap portion of the snap. The only portion of the strap that was not swabbed was the top portion of the cap of the snap, as it was determined that the piece of the knife sheath most likely to yield a latent print, which is again the top of the snap. So if the top of the snap, I hate this case, if the top of the snap was the best place to look for a latent print, why does it say that the surface that you are looking at prints on is leather? So does that mean that you actually didn't look at the metal top of the snap for prints and that you actually looked at the leather for prints? Because that's kind of what this sounds like to me. So then when you look at this, it says, item was examined by Stephanie Wilt while in my custody, presumptive blood testing positive, and samples for biology were collected by FSS Wilt, which is Stephanie Wilt. Trace samples were collected on Post-it notes and placed in manila envelope that was then repackaged with with item number 1. And it says that she just basically looked at it with magnetic powder Okay. And then when we get to the photos of this thing, like this portion looks clean. This is the part that I don't understand, like why there's not after photos of what it looked like in this report when they were actually done with the latent prints, because you don't see the way the sheath looked after the print processing until you come over here to report number 9, where they then went in and Q-tipped the inside pocket portion of the sheath itself. I don't know why they waited. I don't know why they freaking waited. These photos down here, when it comes to this damn sheath, should have been in the other report. Look how dark they are. Does that not look more like they searched the surface of the leather for prints instead of the top portion of the snap cap? No. Because it's obvious that they don't know what the frick frack they're doing. Literally at all. So, yeah, and that's what they said. But then look at the damn pictures. Look at how dark the leather itself looks. So you swab all the leather and you swab portions of the snap. Don't have anything in your report at all about snap or anything else. So that's going to be my next FOIA. And I'm going to reference this freaking email and say, hey, she's saying that she's seeing all of this shit about the snap and stuff in the analyst report. And that you also talked to the person who did the technical review, and that was what she remembered about it too. So then where's the snap? Where's your information about these Q-tips that touched the button? Because you're not going to sit here and tell me that you're so ignorant at your damn job as a forensic scientist that you would use the exact same effing Q-tip on leather and on metal and submit it as the same sample like a true freaking moron. There is no one with a degree that deserves to keep it that would use the exact same Q-tip to swab 2 different sources of surfaces. And if that's what they did here, then they all need to be fired and that entire lab needs to be replaced, including the stupid director who doesn't know how to answer freaking questions like I'm going to show you later on whenever I show you the email between me and him today. I'm so tired of these people, bro. I am so tired of these people. Welcome, sad girl. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. So after we look at everything they did to the sheath that we have information on, we go and look at their own chain of custody, okay? Because the chain of custody here should match everything when it comes to what you're seeing in these reports, when it comes to the date of who touched what and where it went and when it went back to the lab and when it did all these things and blah, 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 whatever, okay? This is ISPs. And again, this is in the big folder over here for you guys to be able to go and look at all of this stuff yourself, okay? When we went to the Moscow Police Department to ask for their FOIA information for when they had the knife sheath from when it was gotten from the house and when it was sent over to the lab, they said this was all that they were allowed to give us. And I'm going to show you that chain of custody was used in this email too, which is why I'm angry. Because when I show you what they sent me, you're going to know exactly why I said this should have been sent to me when we got the information from before. There is no reason whatsoever for them to have not given me this when we paid the $200 and something for the damn pictures and the 2 little bitty emails that they sent. There's no reason for them to have not have sent this to us. So notice I asked for any and all chain of custody information regarding evidence number 22M1810 for the knife sheath. Okay. We got that information and they sent us these pictures right here. We have this one that has, so who's being an asshole? Okay, so what else are they saying that's causing a commotion? Because I'm just gonna not even like really care. This is the both place, but since you want to be a dumb shit, you can leave. Because I'm really not in the mood for little dumb bitch ass trolls. This is truth. And if it's a problem to you that the truth is that they probably do freaking have the wrong person because the evidence doesn't match the narrative and you're going to be a little bitch about it, you can go be a bitch in somebody else's damn chat. And goodbye. We put our money where our mouth is in this freaking chat in this channel. So F the fuck off. Okay? Okay. This is one of the pictures that we ended up getting from them. Here's the other one that shows where there was a correction when the tape was open. I really wish that they would have fixed this one better, though, because this green does not help whatsoever. It really doesn't freaking help literally at all. Because this had to be crossed out because it says 10/18/22, and it had to be crossed out to show 11, and it's just not very well done at all. They should have done better than that. So this was the picture that we already had. When Turvey sent the picture of the chain of custody to Kevin Fixler over at the Idaho State Police, that was nothing special. We already had that shit. We already had the chain of custody barcode. This is where I showed you guys it's not an MPD chain of custody sticker. It's an Idaho State Police custody sticker. So I don't know, like, the chain of events here, which is what I'm trying to figure out, because they had to have gotten this information from someone. They had to have, because someone took a marker and wrote in this information sitting there. They're sitting there and they're writing it in and they're doing it all in one go. And you can see that it says it went from the scene to Talbot on the 13th, then from Talbot to Payne on the 14th, then from Payne to evidence on the 14th, from evidence to the District 2 Idaho State Police trooper that picked it up on the 16th, then from him to the, I guess, handoff person for District 3, and then from that guy over to the ISP lab. ISP lab is the last one. All of these should be in completely different handwritings. I don't give a shit if it's in the same marker, but if they were in different handwritings, this would be legit. There's no reason for this, and there's no reason for the same handwriting to be at the ISP lab as there was at the scene and as there was at ISP. These should have all different freaking handwritings, all different handwritings, okay? The information that they gave me today is the electronic form that was printed out. That is where this information here came from. You guys see it? Here's the sticker, okay? Here is what they sent me today. Look what it says. Brett Payne to evidence. Brett Payne, then back. And then it gets picked up by the trooper. And then when it gets back on the 16th, we have the emails about when this CM person drove on a Friday back down to MPD and actually gave them back the sheath. If we go back to this email, if it'll freaking open, if we go back, oh crap, hold on, I closed it off. Over here. If we go back to this email right here and go up here, we can see that on Tuesday, December the 13th, Detective Talbot told Riley Nowlin, "Thank you. That's what I thought. I think we're ready for the sheath to be sent back up to MPD. Our D2 evidence tech, Carol, is headed to campus for a class for the next 2 days. She's bringing down the chain of custody label and can bring back any items for MPD on Friday." Well, that's what it basically says right here, is that on 12/16, it was brought back by Carol. There's the initials, and driven from the lab back to MPD. So it also shows that Brent Turvey did access the knife sheath on 12/12/24 in person. at Moscow Police Department in order to look at the sheath itself. Now, this right here is interesting because this is the knife sheath opened for repackaging by Brett Payne 1 week before Bryan Kohberger signed his plea agreement. Why are they touching the sheath a week before the plea agreement? What was going on? What was the reason for touching the sheath a week before the plea? That doesn't make sense to me. There's no reason for that. Now, on 4/6/23, it shows that the legal defense team did look at it, but it went from 12/16/22 to 4/6/23 with no one touching it. And then from 4/6/23 to 12/12/24, nobody until Brent Turvey comes and looks at it. And then all of a freaking sudden, old Mr. Clean himself, a week before the plea, comes and repackages it. What do you need to repackage the sheath for a week before the plea even happens? What are you touching this for? Exactly. This is literally the chain of custody information. That's my point. That's exactly why I wanted to show you all this shit. If you go back to this is my original request right here. Any and all chain of custody information regarding the knife sheath. That's why I said in my little pinned comment, do I need to rerun every freaking one of my damn FOIAs? Because obviously y'all are going to miss some shit and not give me what I'm asking for. That's why another reason I'm so freaking frustrated right now. Because what the frick, bro? What? Okay, so this information was sent to me because I asked for when the 11/18 resubmission showed up on this evidence receipt, okay? 11/18/22, the evidence receipt to ISP, and most of you guys have seen this already, shows that once again, 22/18/10 1.1 swab of front strap was a resubmission to the lab. This is the freaking information that I want. I asked this question to the Idaho State Police and to Moscow Police Department at the exact same time, okay? The Idaho State Police came back and told me a bunch of dumb shit, and I had to argue with his dumb ass today. Let's see, is this the one? Okay. So he said to me when I asked the question, documents pertaining to this request have been released previously by ISP. The chain of custody for item 1.1 was previously released by ISP on page 99 of the public records released 10/31/25. Pages 98 and 1801 of the public records release date 10/31/25 may also be responsive to this request. And then he says, an attorney for the Idaho State Police has reviewed the request for the program custodian, has had an opportunity to consult with an attorney regarding the request, and they've chosen not to. Okay. I said, it seems that there's a misunderstanding. This was my response to them. Okay. Page 99 of the 2,356 pages shows the chain of custody for item 1.1. Yes. But notice the date of this starts on 11/17/22. What I am asking about is on page 17 of 2,356, which is page 2 of an evidence submission receipt dated 11/18/22 that shows resubmission next to the 1.1 swab of the front strap. And I show it in the freaking response. I gave him literal visuals. Okay. Then I said, because I did, I attached the whole 11/18/22 evidence receipt to this email and gave him exactly everything that I was asking for the chain of custody for 1.1 to start on 11/17, as noted on page 99, as pointed out by yourself. How and why is there a marked resubmission for the same swab the day after on 11/18? Okay. The only thing they said to me was because everything that they'd already asked me for was given to me, which is a lie, because that's what he's trying to tell me by looking at page 99. All he said when I sent this response was that this response was closed because the responsive public records have been provided. So you're just not even going to pay attention to what the hell I just said to you? You're not even going to pay attention to the fact that you're giving me page numbers that are not referencing what I'm asking, that the dates for the things that you're trying to reference are before what I'm asking for? He just doesn't want to answer my damn question. He's a dumbass. Like this is stupid for you to sit there and act like you don't understand what I'm trying to say to you. I'm being very specific. This is your lab. You have all of this information. Why are you pretending like you can't go into the documents themselves to see what I'm saying to you? I'm having to hold your hand the same way that I'm having to hold the clerk's office hands. And you are the lab director, sir. That's the problem. Okay? So I'm going to have to do something else completely when it comes to this request for them to understand what I'm asking is not a responsive record that's already public. You're giving me shit for a date prior to what I'm asking for, and it's completely irrelevant, okay? So, mind you, this exact wording right here, and I even said to Idaho State Police, the Moscow Police Department has received a verbatim request. This was what I sent to them. According to our previous FOIA request regarding chain of custody of the knife sheath found at 1122 King Road crime scene on 11/13/22, the sheath left MPD on 11/16/22 via an Idaho state trooper. Per other records, it was handed off to a different district's trooper, Turrentine, and was delivered from his handoff by Turrentine to the Idaho State Police Lab. It was received at the lab by Shannon Arredondo per the ISPFS evidence submission receipt dated 11/16/22. After being received, the original agency number 22M1810 was changed to lab item 1 with sub-items for each swab of the sheath labeled as follows. 1.1 swab of front strap of knife sheath. 1.2 swab of edges on handle portion of knife sheath. 1.3 swab of edges on blade portion of knife sheath. Swabs, and then 1.4 swabs of stain on back of knife sheath. Later on 12/5/22, 1.5 would be added for swabs of inside surface of blade portion, but something happened in between this. After reviewing additional ISPFS records, it has come to our attention that the item 1.1 swab of front strap of knife sheath was marked as a resubmission on 11/18/22 for an evidence submission receipt showing as delivered by Tim Smuldridge. In the public filing from ISP, this would be page 16 of 2,356 from the forensic reports posted 10/31/25. Please respond with any and all information regarding this submission in way of any correspondence, be it written, audio, video, any and all reports for this resubmission, along with any pertaining to reasoning for its need and any chain of custody, be it physical or electronic, for this resubmission dated 11/18/22. I have attached screenshots of the mentioned ISP evidence receipt. How can I possibly be more specific? How can I possibly be more specific than this? I'm giving him page numbers. I'm giving him specifics. I'm telling him every damn thing that was going on. And all I get was, oh, it's already public and out there. Here you go. Do you think I'm going to be going in here and giving you all of this freaking detail and not already know what's on page 99? Seriously? Seriously. So then when we go to Moscow and we look up the way that they answered my question, let's see, where's it at? Right here. I asked the same thing. I asked this exact same question. When I said verbatim, I meant verbatim. That's the question I asked. So why, when I ask this question, am I getting information that has nothing at all to do with 11/18/22 that should have been given to me when I asked you for chain of custody information months ago? So I don't even know. Like, I don't know what else to do or like what to do with any of this info. I mean, I might have to start screaming at him in all caps. I mean, damn. Like, this is so stupid. So stupid. And this is like, why is it that every single time we get something, there's also something really freaking suspicious about it? Why is this here, Brett Payne? You were not even working for the Moscow Police Department when this happened, sir. You were no longer employed. Remember the text messages, the emails that I showed you guys that Kara sent me about him no longer working for the police department? Those emails were sent out to the families in April. So why is someone exactly why is he accessing something 2 months after the families are being told that he is being moved to a non-law enforcement position with the University of Idaho? Why is he touching evidence? Why would it need to be repackaged? And why is he even touching anything if he's no longer a police officer? How come there's always some suspicious bullshit every freaking time we get something? This is so frustrating. This is so frustrating, you guys. Like, this is the reason why after the plea happened, I blew up and finally told you guys what I'd been knowing the whole time about Brett Payne. Because I didn't want to get Kara in trouble. So I never said anything when she sent me that information. I never said a freaking word because it literally says in the emails that the state sent to them, they want everything private. They didn't want the public to know about it. So I waited until something happened and then I could be like, yeah, it's verified. He doesn't work there anymore. That shit just didn't make any sense. With the fact that the university used the person that was lead of the investigation as the reason why they felt they had to step in, and then they hire him. It's the stupidest shit. It's the stupidest shit. Let me see if I have those like accessible right now so I can show you all those emails. Because it'll have. And you know what? Something I need to do. I need to actually see if I can get some employment records about him from them. So I can get like direct dates. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. And then I'll show you all the emails real quick. Because I know I've showed them before. They're on my community page somewhere. But let me pull them up real quick. See if I have them over here. Are they still on my phone? Let me pull it up right here. Oh, there they are. So let's see. April 28th, 2025 at 11 o'clock in the morning is when someone from lataucountyid.gov forwarded these emails over to the families. Let me upload this to my Canva real quick, and then I'll add it to this, and then I'll pop the email up on the page. Because it'll tell you this email was over 2 months before this damn repackaging by Brett Payne, and he's not supposed to have been a law enforcement officer at this time. He's not supposed to have been a law enforcement officer. So if you're not a law enforcement officer, why the frick are you going into the evidence room and touching evidence? Why are you repackaging something a week before the plea deal? Why are you touching something? Like, that's insane to me, broskies. Like, for real, though. Hold on, let me get this up here. I don't want the person's email to show. Where the frick? I just had it in the other thing. Go. What the hell? Why do I see him in my gallery? And then I go to attach and then there's not. What the frick? Hold on. Oh my God. I'll add these to the Google Drive too, guys. There's no reason for it to be taking me this freaking long to even find this shit. So let me get them added to. I'm going to send them to myself real fast. And then I'll add them to the Google Drive. So y'all have access to these emails with the dates that prove that Brett Payne was not working at this time. Yeah, because I'm pretty positive that it was like May. I'm pretty positive it was May. That was his last day there. I'm about to show y'all the email though. Thanks for the 5, Jimmy Jones. Let them know you're not going. I'm not going anywhere. This is so stupid. Like, this is so dumb. I can't believe, like, I'm exhausted. Like, it's not because, like, I hate this all of a sudden. I hate this case, but I'm driven to keep going, but damn, I'm exhausted. The email with ISP, like, are you for real right now? Like, that's why I feel like I'm talking to a wall. Am I speaking some sort of alien UFO language and no one can understand me that needs to understand me? Like, is this the highest level of selective hearing ever? And y'all know that I still have never, ever, ever to this freaking day gotten a response by that stupid ass chief of police about the 1112 cameras. He has still not responded to my freaking emails. They are all pathetic. All pathetic. Thanks for the 5 Miller time. In my opinion, there's 2 case files, one for the public and one we will never see. And that's probably the truth. Because look how much shit they hid from us, bro. Look how much shit they hid from us. Someone else in the car with Kaylee and Maddie, we had no freaking idea. Someone else at the house with Dylan and Bethany before the other girls got back, we had no idea. Look at the bullshit that was hidden from us when it comes to the DoorDash. There's been so much information that we were not told. So much information that we were not told. It is disturbing how much information that they hid from the public. Actually insane. All right, hold on. I'm about to be ready to get this up here. Okay. Yeah, because y'all can't see her phone number. So hold on a second. And I don't want her to have her. Okay. I mean, the email addresses on here are only Latah County government email addresses. I'd already blanked out Kara's email address, so I'm going to show you all this full thing. Okay. Move that out the way. Okay. So here it is right here. Kim sent this out to all the families. Got this. I didn't want y'all to see Kara's email, so I got rid of that. All the families got this on April 28th, 2025. Monday, April 28th, 2025. Okay. Good afternoon. We are writing to inform you that Corporal Brett Payne is leaving the Moscow Police Department and taking a non-law enforcement position at the University of Idaho. As you know, Corporal Payne is one of the state's advisory witnesses for trial, i.e., assists the state throughout the trial. Fortunately, Corporal Payne has made arrangements with the university to still be present for the entirety of the trial as originally planned. Our office is taking steps to deputize him as a prosecutor's investigator so he can maintain his law enforcement status through trial. We are very appreciative to Corporal Payne for staying committed to this case and seeing it through to the finish line. This information is not public, and we appreciate your efforts to not publicize this. So if they're supposed to have deputized him to be some sort of whatever the hell this is, how come when they address him after the plea, he's still being referenced as being with the Moscow Police Department? When was this deputization? When was the deputization? When was the deputization? When did that happen? And if he's going to still be part of the team and be a prosecutor's investigator, then why are you having to tell the family and give them a heads up and tell them to keep this public keep this private because you don't want people to know? No, bullshit. If this didn't do anything to his actual law enforcement status and he's taking a position at the freaking university, you're not going to sit here and try to tell me shit about shit. And then he goes and he, for some reason, decides to repackage the damn knife sheath. What are you touching the knife sheath for a week before the plea deal? Like, this is so stupid. This is so dumb. I don't think they did. I don't know if they went through with it. I don't know if they finished anything. I don't know if they went through with it. I don't know what they were going to do. I mean, I don't know. There's no other changes to it right here, so I'm not sure. And I don't know why it's out of order up here either. Because this says 7/7/25 after this part was done. So what does that even mean? Why does that look like that? Hold on a second. So 6/3/25 open for repackaging by Brett Payne, and then 7/7/25. What does 2025 shift mean? What does 2025 shift on 7/7/25 mean? Hold as evidence, because that's after the plea. So it was opened for repackaging a week before the plea, and then a week after the plea. What does 2025 shift? Is this Latah County? Something right here? LCHG, Latah County? I don't know. I don't know why it's out of order either. So are they holding it in like a Latah County evidence hold then? I don't know, because this is Tim Smoldred. I don't know why. I don't know why they choose to redact the name here. I don't know why they choose to redact the name here. His name's on all kinds of stuff, and he's also the one that Amber at the Moscow Police Department office had to like get with in order to find the rest of the 1112 King Road footage because it was in a different folder. So like I already know that he's the freaking evidence guy. But I don't understand what's 2025 shift. Like, is that like I mean, I don't know. It could just simply be because like they're considering the case over because of like what's going on. I just don't know why it's up here like that and out of order. But yeah, this is odd. This is really strange. I don't know what that would be like that for. I mean, everything else, but this still doesn't give me an answer. Like, guys, like this still doesn't give me an answer. Because on 11/16, the shit was taken from the officer. Like the officer took it from MPD, and it wasn't driven back for a month. Okay, so then where's the 11/18? Why do we have something about 11/18? Like, what is that? How come we don't have any information about 11/18? This is so stupid. No, not just January 2025, Aaron. Not just January 2025. January 23rd, 2025 is when it stopped working, which was the exact same date of the closed session where Brett Payne told Ann Taylor that the FBI never told them on the phone on 12/19 that Bryan Kohberger's name came from the knife sheath. And that there was a lead that they were following before that date. And then after that date is when they found out about the unknown male DNA, and they just shelved it because they already had their name from MPD. The exact same day on January 23rd is when that happened. Crazy as hell. No, because that 2404 meeting, that stupid timeline screws up everything. Especially when it comes to when Xana, like, it took a minute for me to literally sit there because I hadn't really seen that before. I hadn't really noticed that it was coming from two different sources, which is another reason, like, it's also screwed up. Because the call, when they're trying to say that there's a missed call and it's showing up as Ethan's number as the source, they're saying that that happened at 12:16 because they have it as 0016 hours. But then when they're taking the information from Xana's phone, they have it as a 116. Well, that just proves that it's actually the exact same freaking phone call, but they have it on there twice because they're looking at it like at different time zones. Like, for ISP and NPD to both have been working on it at the same time, that means it was probably a living document and they were looking at it in their own time zones, but still fiddling with it at the exact same time. So there's information in there twice, out of order information. Like, the other example was they have Maddie walking back from the party to go and meet up with Kaylee at the house to head to the corner club before Ethan even left Hunga Dunga. And that doesn't work because Ethan brought the freshman over to 1122 that walked Maddie over to the freaking party. So how was she walking back from the party before the guy that brought the guy that escorted her even got two over there? The whole thing is so convoluted and screwed up and bleh. God damn. I cannot believe these people are law enforcement people. I cannot believe these people are law enforcement people. They're citing Boise time and Moscow time. That's what I mean. Like, the ISP officers that are working on it at the same time that Moscow's working on it, they're working on it in two completely different time zones. So they're getting their timestamps all screwed up. Isn't that ridiculous? Like, I don't understand how that was something that was going to end up going into court. So if they do actually give us this 108-page timeline, I know that I'm probably going to have a whole freaking brain aneurysm over how much bullshit is going to be in there. It's just a lot of dumb shit. No, I know, that's fine. No, I'm just saying, like, it was that exact date, and that's so important because I myself didn't even realize that the fridge and that closed session happened on the exact same day until I was in there a few days ago looking for information on if it was Xana's blood in the kitchen or not. And speaking of, there's apparently another report. Somebody left a comment about, I think it was Sarah, left a comment about there being another report. I think it was report number 11. I think it was report number 11. When it came to the swab that was taken in the kitchen that Chris Holland tried to say belonged to Xana, and it doesn't. The only thing that I could find at the time, number 11. Okay. The only thing that I could find at the time was that it didn't look like it had been sent off and they had done anything with it because none of the reports were actually showing anything. It doesn't change the fact that it's not Xana's blood. Like, what was found in report number 11 doesn't change the fact that it's not Xana's blood. So I'm going to have to go in and do like a follow-up video to put this in here because I didn't notice anything on report number 11. Let me see. Forensic only. Nope, go back. Report number 11. Unredacted. Okay, yeah, this is the one we want. Okay, so when you go down and you see all of the different things that they swabbed here, you can see that they actually do have marker 40 right here. Floor under north wall of kitchen cabinets, ISP District 2 marker number 40. So then if we go down here, let's see if we can find it. Where was it? Does it show? Okay, let me see. Okay. So do they have the sequence numbers on here, or is it just going to be, I think it was handwriting, wasn't it? Like all of it was handwritten. Okay, north center of kitchen, floor 2 kitchen. How many pages is this? 37. Okay. First floor, second floor, east bedroom, kitchen. I need to go back in and read all these notes. Second floor, west bedroom, trash can, all evidence. So many different handwritings. So many different handwritings. So many different people touch this stuff. Let's see. Living room bloodstains. Third floor. Where does it say? Baseboard. Okay. Okay, but we're... Okay. Let's see. Here they have the numbers. Okay, right here. Here it is right here. ISP District 240. And my big old head's in the way. Thanks for the 199, girl. Yeah, negative for blood. That's what the comment said. That it was negative for blood. Right here. So that would explain why it wasn't sent to ISP for testing, because it wasn't blood. Red semicircle stain, kitchen floor, but below lower cupboards, north, and this is, I'm going to assume, this is I don't know what the hell this is. I thought maybe like initials, but no, it looks like it says man, but that wouldn't make any sense. But look right here, negative. Negative for blood. So the guy that's out here trying to get kudos for quote unquote, and y'all know that I normally do show my little quotations in the camera, so I'm sure you're picturing it right now, quote unquote, helping Turvey with his report, is out here claiming that Xana's blood was in the kitchen. He said it twice in his interview, meaning he has now doubled down on it, the same way that Chris Whitcomb in his book also falsely doubles down on Xana's blood being on the pong table. So now they have no proof whatsoever that Xana was attacked outside of her bedroom. They're trying to act as if whoever the person was encountered Xana as she was leaving the kitchen with her Jack-in-the-Box food and heading back to her room, or was heading back into the kitchen and then took off running. They want you to believe that she was chased out of the kitchen by the suspect, by whoever, by however many, and chased down the hallway, and that's why her blood was in the kitchen, and that's why her blood was on the pong table, but it's not. Her blood is nowhere outside of her bedroom that we can tell at all. So why do we have one person coming out claiming that he has all these inside sources that talk to the defense and seen all this evidence saying some stupid shit about blood being Xana's on the table and it's not? And then why do we have the other guy coming out here and falsely claiming that after looking at all of Turvey's information that Xana's blood is in the kitchen, and the swab that was used in the kitchen was never sent off to ISP, like I said, because like this says, it wasn't blood. It wasn't blood. So I was right. I missed something, and I was still right. How about that shit? So thank you for those who dropped that in the comments. And thank you, Lady Di, for reminding me that it was number 11. I was right, even though I had something missing. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, he was just talking shit. Like, he was just saying stuff. He was just saying stuff to talk. Like, dude, just talking to talk. I don't understand. I just don't understand. Why make up things? Like, if you're supposed to be somebody who's an expert witness that gets paid from courts, from lawyers' offices, from families that need you to look into information and see what's going on, how can anyone trust you when you're coming out here and just claiming a whole bunch of false bullshit that there's no receipts for, when you're supposed to be an expert receipt guy? Isn't that the whole point of being an expert witness, is that you know how to gather proof and information and prove a point? Like, is everyone involved in this case in some sort of official, authoritative manner just literally the biggest Pinocchios ever born? Because what the hell? It's a lot. It's so ignorant. It's so unnecessary. See, and that's another thing too. I want to know if he had approval, because as far as I'm understanding, when there's some sort of gag order, there has to be something submitted to the court in order for the court to give another person permission to look at the information. Because everyone that was looking at the information had to sign an NDA by Ann Taylor. And according to what we're knowing as of today, none of those NDAs have been released. Welcome, Lorena. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I don't understand that. I don't know. None of this shit makes any sense to me. There's so much missing, and there's so much. I mean, damn, bro. Exactly. That's my point. Why? You know why? Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because if Xana is running from the kitchen, then that negates the story that Dylan told about Kaylee being the one that went up the stairs with Murphy and then came back down yelling and screaming. Because if that's not Kaylee and it's Xana instead, then it makes sense for Kaylee being in the bed with Maddie. But if she ran down the stairs and was heard crying down the bathroom hallway, then how the freak did she get back up in Maddie's room? That's why. I think that's why. Because they don't want us to know how much the bodies were moved. Like, what other reason could there possibly be? What other reason can there possibly be? And that makes no sense to me either, because I can't trust the damn thing that Dylan has even said. So for them to be like pretending all of these made up things, it's logical she was using the Bluetooth for TikTok? For 7-second videos? I'm sorry, boomer boy. You don't know how social media works. And that's coming from me, who hates the shit and again uses a French press. Don't come out here talking about TikTok and freaking Bluetooth speakers. You're going to sound crazy. Logical. We have the phone information, do we not? Wouldn't it show a Bluetooth connection? Come on. Logical. Logical my ass. What's logical is that you just wanted some freaking attention. Then these people are so desperate for freaking content that they don't care if you're full of shit or not. They're going to put you on their damn panel. Prove me wrong. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of it. Do you remember the report that showed a non-emergency call on it? It was like a spreadsheet, I think, from the prosecution. The only stuff that I know that has like calls and stuff on it that we've gotten is the text and communications from Tweedledee and Tweedledum over there, and then the majority that, I mean, like the sheet that we got that has like the bubble text from Dylan. I don't know of any other ones, and I know that there's still questions about that too. Because no, crud dog. That was at 1:33. I have the photo. It's in the Google Drive under book information. It has 1:33 as the timestamp. But no, I'm gonna have to go back and see. Do you know what document it was? Or maybe you can like use keywords in the Google Drive and see if it might be in there. But I don't know. I don't have all the documents all the way over yet. If we went over it in a video, you might be able to find it that way, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember seeing anything. All I know is that there was something about like 3:00 in the morning when it comes to the alcohol call, quote unquote, that was sent in for the Banfield stuff. And I know that there was, I don't know what the hell Steve said that made people think this, but something was said to make people think that Kaylee had tried to call out at around like 3 something for some sort of emergency. I just don't remember what was said or what it was or anything like that. I know that I asked for any other calls to 1122 King Road for 6 months prior to the incident, and she told me that the 3 body cams that were already out to the public were the only calls they ever had gotten. The only ones that they've ever gotten. So I don't even know. I don't even know. The call was at 2 p.m. on 11/13/22. Oh, I do remember. I do remember seeing that. Where the frick did we just see that? Oh my God, where did we just see that? We did see something like that. And I remember thinking, like, what the hell is that? I remember seeing, it had to have been something recent. Yes, it was said, but not in reports. K calling 911. Yeah, I remember that, but I'm still trying to like figure all that stuff out too. But no, I remember exactly what Miller was talking about. It was something more recent. Oh my God, what document was that? Did we go over it in the lives? We went over it in the lives when the document's unsealed. I'm gonna write it down and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna check what that is. Cause no, that was really interesting. I do remember seeing that somewhere. It's a little bit older. Okay. I'm still going to look because I do remember seeing something like that. There was something else actually on the NPD records. Let me see if I can find what I'm talking about real quick. Because it's on the inventory report and it's like something kind of crazy like that. Like different weird stuff like that. Hold on. Let me get this to pop up real quick. Load. Okay. Okay. Like these right here, I want to look and see what these are. I don't know what these are. These have separate numbers right here. I know it's not the same thing that you're talking about, Miller Time. Oh, shit, let me show the screen. I know it's not the same thing that you're talking about, but I'm going to add it to the list of this stuff right here. Because I saw this and I don't know what this is. I don't know what these numbers are, but this welfare check is considered a related incident and it took place a week after the crime. And then accident non-injury considered a related incident on 2/7/23. A burglary from 6/21/23 related, and there's discovery included. And then there's this threatening one from 7/12/23 that they're also claiming is related. So I wanted to go in and get information about these and see what in the world those are. Because they're in the list. They're in the list to be related incidents. So yeah, I wanted to see what those were. It was a court doc. I wonder what the frick it could have been. So it was like a list. Welfare list, welfare check for Jack D. I mean, it could have been. I don't know. I'm gonna eventually send some FOIAs out for that stuff. I wonder what that could have been in. Because when it comes to like, okay, when it comes to like text message information, let me show you guys like everything that's right here. So when it comes to like text messages, there's only 7 documents that actually have the word text in the whatchamadoodler. So it might have been an exhibit that's not like on the list, maybe. Is it like an exhibit? I'm going to look for it still. Because I need to have it. If I'm going to try to get information about it, I have to have the paper. No, that's right. JD has motive and Dylan's lying. I mean, those are literal facts. Dylan is not being honest. She's changing her story every single time she tells it. She's making excuses. She's pretending like she doesn't have any memory or anything, but she had no problem just going off a mile a minute to the point to where Ethan's sister was telling her to shut the F up. She was being loud. She was being dramatic. She was making sure people were hearing her. She did everything she could to do what she always does, which is skirt responsibility. Why? I don't know why. All I know is that that's what's happening, and that's the fact. That's not made up. That's an opinion. That's the truth. Every version of this story that she's told has changed. And because of her freaking attorney sitting there telling her to play stupid, the cops are just letting her because she's this pretty little blonde girl. And that's bullshit. That makes no sense to me. I don't give a frick how pretty or how blonde or however dainty they might think that you are. I've seen 12-year-olds do disgusting ass shit and end up getting almost like life in prison and never coming out again. I don't care. You should not be sitting here talking to her as if you shouldn't be suspicious of someone who pretends the way that she does. I mean, I can sort of see them like Baby and Bethany because she doesn't really say all that much. But Dylan doesn't shut up. And she's constantly changing her story. Constantly changing her story. The truth doesn't change. The truth is constant. It does not change. Jack had all the motivation. And when we get the interview on the 17th, we hear even more information that gives him motive. Because now he knows that Kaylee is definitely out seeing other people. She's not letting him come over on Friday night because she's got her other dude that she's hanging out with over there after the party was over and everybody went back to 11:22. So now he can't come over. And then they're arguing. You're going to sit there and tell me that they get on a phone call for 17 minutes and it suddenly disconnects because she's calling him back to back to back and it's not some sort of argument. I mean, the argument might have been about Murphy. For all we know, Jack might have taken off with Murphy, and that's the whole argument. Look at the video. What happens? A car shows up. You hear someone call for what sounds like calling for a dog. It's not until way down the line that we actually hear on the camera someone say, Murphy, like Murphy was just found. And if you go back and you look at the camera the way that I showed you guys when we went through Murphy's timeline, you can see headlights in the White's apartments go across the window of the little duplex house right in front of right there where the road turns in to come onto King and Queen from Taylor. You can see the reflection of the lights. And right after that, you hear them talking about seeing the dog. So for all we know, Jack pulled up after somehow, I don't know what the hell, somebody pulled up and took off with the dog. There's a whole argument. She's calling Jack back to back. We don't know what the hell. But that's a 17-minute phone call and then a frantic calling back to back because y'all probably got into an argument. And you're not going to sit there and tell me that he asked very frantic voiced if it was recorded because he said some shit that he wasn't supposed to say. That's going to make him look real bad. So of course, why else would you be tripping out about the possibility that the phone call you had with your ex-girlfriend who's now dead, that you're now being interrogated about, might have been recorded? Only if you said something stupid. Only if you said something stupid. And then the Goncalves is lying for him the entire time. Like, I just don't understand all of this. The whole everything, every aspect of everything is just so convoluted. You can't write this shit, man. You really freaking can't. Thank you for the 10 gifted memberships, Miller Time. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Congratulations to those who ended up getting those. So many members. We're going to have so many people. We might end up doing a third giveaway. We'll do like 2 or 3 giveaways this next Monday coming up since there's so many members. I think we actually hit like 1,000 members, bro. That's crazy. That's so crazy. See, and I feel like I'm everywhere. And I think it's, I mean, I know it's because everything is so everywhere and I'm trying to un-everywhere everything. But like right now, like I know that I sound crazy to people just like coming in here that have never heard me before. And they're sitting there just like listening to me, like kind of like ramble off. But man, we've been waist deep into this shit for 4 years, almost 3.5 years. This is ridiculous. This is so insane. This is so crazy. So that's what they sent me, is this damn little paper, and it is in the folders. If you guys go to the folders and go to Moscow Police Department and then click on FOIAs and then go to 11/18/22 resubmission. It's not in here yet? Well, looky there. I'm going to do it right now. And it won't be one that I've written on. Yeah, here you go. It should load up in a second. There it goes. Ta-da, ta-da. There it be. So like I said, this is literally like the official printout that would have been either given to. See, that's another thing I'm wondering. Like, did Tim Smaldridge maybe only send this information over to ISP on 11/18? And for some reason, it's marking the 1.1 submission, the 1.1 swab as a resubmission when it didn't need to. Like, was it an accident? Was it just labeled incorrectly? Like, could it literally be just incompetence to the max? Because they are just like, I don't know the reasoning. I can't give it any sort of explanation. But are they really just like out of it? Or was this maybe emailed over to them on 11/18/22? Because this is literally what we have written down on the sticker. So maybe it's just this that he submitted, but they should have, I don't even know how to like correct that, because I don't want to ask them that. That's leading. Like, I don't want to be like, so is this the 11/18 resubmission? Was it just because they needed the chain of custody and it was just marked as a resubmission because it was a continuance, blah, 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 whatever. Like, I'm going to be leading them into answering the question. So I'm not doing any of that. So I got to be really careful how I reword the things that I'm requesting, because at this point, I asked you for FOIA I asked you for chain of custody information for this exact same thing months ago, and you sent me a bunch of bullshit. I asked you for something related to a different date. You sent me something you should have sent me months ago. This is why I feel like I need to redo everything. Oh, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships, Curry. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Holy shit hockeys. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Holy crap. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. This is just so frustrating. This is just so frustrating. But here's the information. This is what they sent me. And I'm going to now send a FOIA request off to ISP in the morning. And I'm going to reference the email where she says that she's looking at the analyst notes while she's talking about a swab on the button. And there's no report anywhere about a button. So that's a whole new FOIA for incompetency. And then I have to, I guess it's not going to go along with the 11/18 one where he's acting like what I'm asking for is already out there. So I have to reword that FOIA to ISP too. I did ask her today how much longer until we get the next Jack to Core interview, because remember we got the 11/17 interview before we got the 11/15 interview, because then the 11/17 interview is where the 17-minute phone call came into play. Now, I don't know if any information about that at all is going to be brought up on 11/15. It doesn't seem like it with the way that it was brought up on 11/17, but we do know that now we're going to be able to compare what Jack said. Because in the beginning of the 11/17 interview, the cop is basically reiterating to Jack what Jack apparently told him on 11/17 to make sure that he got Jack's story right. So not only are we going to be able to go in and see if Jack changes anything that he said, which is so beyond ridiculously common in this damn case, but we're also going to be able to go in and see if Van Leuven repeated Jack's story back to him correctly, or if he, like everybody else that's touched this case, got things discombobulated and got it wrong and put it down wrong, and now the report's wrong, and that wrong information in that report is what gets forwarded instead of what was actually said. I cannot believe this is how our justice system works. Because again, this is not just one department. Multiple departments, multiple kinds of departments. We've got courthouses. We've got FOIA offices. We've got city attorneys. We have administrative people for the actual like chief heads up of police and the courthouse people itself. We have all these offices, every single one of these damn departments, every single one. From clerical to authoritative to science, they're all everywhere. A mess, disorganized. I just can't believe this is how it is. It's just wild. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Tomorrow is Tuesday. I do like to try to go live twice on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I know for sure we will be doing chapter 10. Let's see what's all about this stuff. Yeah, we'll do chapter 10. It'll probably be like an 11:45 and then something in the later evening kind of live. I'm not sure just yet, but I'm for sure going to make sure that we go live twice tomorrow. But we might not go live twice about Idaho. We might go live about something else. Or I might go live on my other channel and do some alien stuff again. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot in this case I want to catch up on. But, you know, we'll see what I decide to do. Change my mind every 30 seconds. But we'll see. All right. Thank you so much for coming in here so damn late. I'm sorry it was so late. It just seems to be my life. Just late night. So much stuff to do. So I appreciate any of you guys coming here, especially whenever it's like a 30-minute last minute notice. I appreciate it so much. It just tells me how much you guys actually care about stuff. Care about the facts here and what the hell's actually going on. It's amazing. You go to TikTok and you don't really just see a lot of it, you know. You don't really see a lot of people who actually care about facts. It's a lot of just people that only care about stupidity and drama. But I mean, if you dig into the facts and what's actually happening here, like, how is that not enough drama for you? Holy shit. Holy shit. My God. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. Y'all have some good sleeps. Hope you guys have a great night. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. See you guys. If you like the way that I present this information and give my opinion, please don't forget to leave a like on the way out, subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already, and please don't forget to make sure that the notification bell is set to all so you don't miss any of my rants, reviews, reactions, updates, or deep dives.